everyone. Welcome in today as Florida's taking on Auburn here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Florida comes into this one 5-1, coming off a pretty good win over LSU. Meanwhile, Auburn comes in at 1-5. We know they're going to give us a fight still, but this season really hasn't gone their way so far as they are kicking it away, and Florida's going to open up with the ball. Kimber gets the ball in the end zone, and he surprisingly doesn't take a knee. He takes that out and does not make it to the 25-yard line. That's only a 23-yard return, so we open up at about the 18-yard line. Montrell Johnson's going to get the carry here, and he fights ahead with a solid carry and a good stiff arm to pick up 7 yards. We hand it to him on second down on the counter, and this time he has nowhere to go, and boy did he get blown up on that play. So it's 3rd and 3 for Garola, and he throws it quick, and that's broken up. He should have waited a second there. That play was well covered, so we're forced to punt it to Auburn, and Robbie Ashford is playing quarterback, and down he goes on the first play of this game for Auburn's offense. That's a big play by Mitchell, our safety. Ashford, though, on second down throws it out there. Duffy makes a nice reception, and he breaks that tackle and breaks another one. He's out to the 40-yard line. That's a good 8-yard pickup. He worked hard for that one as Ashford's forced to throw it on 3rd down, and he just checks it down to Jarquez Hunter, their running back. That one ends up going for 5. Florida's going to get the ball back, but Auburn goes for it on a fake punt, and Bedette, their fullback, gets the first down and more. He's all the way down to the 30-yard line. Nobody on Florida's staff expected that. That was a huge play and a gutsy call by Auburn that really worked out for them. They now have momentum in this game, and you can tell they came to play. They are looking to get their season back on track as Ashford sends a man in motion and pitches it out to Jarquez Hunter. He ends up breaking Tyreek Sapp's tackle, and he is down all the way to the 12-yard line. What a play by Jarquez Hunter as Bedette gets a carry, and into the end zone he goes. Auburn takes a 7-0 lead in this one. Nobody expected that, especially not for the way they got it with that fake punt and then busting up into the end zone on a couple solid runs. The Gators defense needs to step up. As you can see with the quick little update there, Arkansas has turned their season around. They look like they're going to be a bowl eligible team, and their season definitely didn't go by the wayside like I thought it might earlier on. And anybody who's new to this series, we care about Arkansas because our quarterback from our previous spot, Bo Pribula, is their starter. So we're rooting for him and we're rooting for Arkansas, except for if we see him. Garola's looking to throw it here on second down, and that pass was terrible. He's just 1 for 4 today. He has been off and he just hasn't looked great. However, that pass is perfectly executed down the seam. That's Noah Keeter for 37 yards. What a huge play for the Gators. You love to see some of our auxiliary targets making big plays like Keeter. He isn't somebody we rely upon, but it's great to see him make plays. On second down, we go to Montrell Johnson, and look at that nice little nifty move. He got us a first down. He juked out the defender there for an 11-yard pickup. Trevor Etienne checks into the game, and it looks like we're going to pass it, and that's Malik Mega going in for 6. Touchdown Gators. They're going to tie this game up at 7. They answered quick. Hopefully that gets the momentum back on their side. We'll have to see what happens as Auburn takes back over. Ashford's in the pistol. He hands it to Jarquez Hunter up the middle, and he has a big gap and a first down and more. He ends up going for 13 yards. That's a solid run right there by Jarquez Hunter. This time they're going to motion him out wide to the right. Underneath center's Robbie Ashford, and you'd expect him to pass from this formation, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and he throws that one. Luckily for him, it was inaccurate, or else that probably would have been picked off as they give it to Hunter on the next play, and he has another big gap up the middle, and that's a 13-yard rush by Jarquez Hunter right there. So they have a fresh set of downs. They're motioning their receiver all the way across the lineup here, and then they end up tossing it out to the right to Jarquez Hunter, who goes nowhere. That's only a 1-yard pickup. That's a great job by our DBs coming down and making the play as Ashford's looking to pass it, and he tucks and runs, and he somehow runs through that player. I'm not sure who it was, and ends up picking up about 7 yards on that. So it's 3rd and 2, and they give it to Jarquez Hunter, who seems to be able to get as many yards as he wants on each carry. That's a 7-yard pickup right there from him. So on this fresh set of downs, Alston out of the Wildcat formation fumbles the ball, and that is recovered by Moore. That's Devin Moore with the fumble recovery. However, they are going to have to review this as you'd expect. And as we're looking at it, I can't tell from that angle. This angle will give us a better view, and it looks like his knees were down before that ball came out. We'll have to see if they agree with us, and it looks like they do. Auburn takes the ball back. So that was almost a big play for us. However, our defense has a chance to still hold him. It's 2nd and 6. Robbie Ashford throws it underneath the Moore, who makes a good catch and gets laid out on that play. That's going to set up a 3rd and 3 for Robbie Ashford, and he is inaccurate. That pass wasn't close, so they're forced to settle for the field goal here. That is up and good. Auburn takes a 10-7 lead in this one late in the first quarter as Trevor Etienne gets a carry for just about 2 yards on that play. I would love for him to become a more explosive back. I know he has it in him, but he just hasn't been able to show it off this year. As you can see here, that's another 3-yard pickup. We'd rather give them type of carries to Montrell Johnson because he'll make that a 6 or 7 yard pickup. As the first quarter comes to an end here, though, it is 10-7. Auburn ETN leading. This right here is looking like it could be a massive upset as Auburn comes in at 1-5. There is no way we would have expected them to give us this much of a fight and take the lead here heading into the second quarter. But we have the ball. Let's see if we can answer. ETN's done a pretty good job. So is Harrison Walsh the third, but it's 2nd and 2 and we are in the gun. We're going to run some play action off of Trevor Etienne, and Garola standing in the pocket and going deep. That's Harrison Walsh the third, but he can't hang on through the contact. He drops that one as he gets hit in his midsection. That would have been a nice catch for a huge play as Etienne will get us the first down though on that 3rd down, and he ends up picking up 7 yards. We're moving the ball pretty well here, and we go straight back to Etienne, and he cut it to the left for just 1 yard. If he goes right, there's a gap there that he could have went the distance. I think that was a missed opportunity as Garola pulls it on the read option, and he ends up taking it for 11. That's a pretty solid play right there. So we go to Montrell Johnson, who checks into the game, and that's what I like about him. He's a good dirty work back. He ends up being able to get us some tough yards, and it always seems like we come out positive when he gets the carry. As we go to Noah Keeter, and that ends up being a really nice play as he breaks a tackle and gets us down all the way to the 14-yard line. He picks up 16 yards on that play, and Garola's going to pull it on a read option, and he ends up getting 8 yards. We'd like to see him slide and quit taking these hits. He's shown that he's a little bit injury prone as we go to the end zone on the next play. That one didn't work out. We tried to throw a fade to Xavier Henderson. So on 3rd down, we give it to ETN and get the fresh set of downs inside of the 5, so it's 1st and goal. That's what you like to see. And on 1st and goal, Garola goes to Malik Mega for a 3-yard score. Florida takes their first lead of this game. They're up 14-0 at this point. Hopefully they can hold on and keep Auburn behind them. There's no way they should be struggling like this against them. And if anybody's wondering, I've been a little inconsistent with uploads. We ended up having a virus going around the house, causing some people in my family to get sick, and a family member ended up being hospitalized for the past week. So I'm still fighting it. I'm doing much better than they are, but it's kind of caused a little bit of an uproar, and that's why I'm running behind on uploads. I think I'll be okay though. I've got my voice back pretty good. It's a little weak still, but I don't think it'll stop me. So I have every intention of getting uploads back on track. This video will be uploaded on Thursday, and I should be back on track after that. I think if I can make it through this, I'll be able to keep recording consistently. So hopefully that gets us back on track, and my family member's okay. They're home from the hospital. They're recovering. It's just been a process, and they got much sicker than I did. So we're all okay. I should be back on track. My voice may be a little off in these next few as we continue to fight it, but we're back into the action here. Look at Harrison Walsh, the third, go for 29 yards. That's a big play for the Gators and puts us in scoring position as we are looking to extend our lead as we go to ETN on the next play. That one didn't work out too well. He ended up getting caught up on an O-lineman, and then an Auburn player was able to push him back before their defense came back and got him. However, we run a counter on the next play, and that ends up being a positive play, but it only goes for 3. So it's now 3rd and 6. You'd like to be shorter than that, but we do find David Hester. That's going to set us up with a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. I thought for a brief second he might have got in there, but they didn't review it or anything, and I looked at the replay. It was close, but ultimately it didn't end up mattering as Trevor Etienne gets the carry and goes in for a 1-yard touchdown. We extend our lead up to 21-10 over Auburn. This is how I expected this game to go, and I think we should be cruising in this one as Robbie Ashford hit Alston underneath. That's only a 2-yard pickup. I don't know why he put his feet down like that and fell. He had plenty of space. And then on 2nd down, they end up throwing it deep, and that one didn't work. It got swatted down, so that brings up a big 3rd and 8 for the Tigers. And of course, they have to pass it, and Ashford does find Jarquez Hunter. However, that's only a 5-yard pickup, so it's 4th and 4, and they do elect to punt it back to us. So let's see what we can do as we are getting close to halftime, so we only have 33 seconds to try to get some points on the board. 1st down was a good play. We got 17 yards to Malik Mega. 2nd down, Garola's in the pocket and takes a sack. That's a big mistake, but he only loses 5 yards, and we use a timeout to stop the clock. So we can manage that as Garola's looking to pass on 2nd and 15 now. He completes it to Mega, and that's going to set us up to be able to kick a field goal. I think we have 8 seconds left. We're going to try to run one quick play and get a few more yards, but instead we go to the end zone, and that almost cost us as that was nearly intercepted by Keontae Scott. So we do line up and kick the field goal, and Adam Mahalik's kick is good. That's a big boot to give us a 24-10 lead as we head into halftime. The Gators came to life here in the second quarter, scoring 17 points and not allowing Auburn to get any points on the board. So we are looking at injuries, and as you can see, we are healthy. However, Auburn does have a few injuries. I wanted to show it off sooner, but I forgot to. And then taking a look at stats, you can see everything is in our favor. favor. We are controlling this game exactly like I thought we should have from the beginning. That's why I was a little frustrated when the first quarter didn't go our way. I thought for sure that this would be an easy one for us to control and that we wouldn't have any issues dominating it. The only thing Auburn's done a good job of, though, is keeping time of possession in their favor. But somehow that hasn't helped them, as we now are going to take a look at some recruiting news like we do every week at halftime. First one up is Macario Dorba. He's a 6'3", 196-pound wide receiver. He's a pretty good player. He's a 78 overall, and he's down to Tennessee, Georgia Tech, and Florida. We'll have to see where he ends up going. He's not the quickest guy. He's a little bit more of a route runner, but I'd be happy to have him. Jalen Matson's next up. He's actually got a similar top three. However, he chose Florida State over Tennessee. He's only a 71 overall. He has a little more speed at 91, but he's a -6, so he's a little bit of a guy that you have to worry how much he'll develop, but he narrowed his list down this week. We only had 2 players commit. Like I said, there's no guarantee they choose us. You'll see at the end of the season, I show off way more than 25 recruits, so some of them we won't end up getting as we get going in this second half. Robbie Ashford and Auburn have the ball, and look at this space he has. He is going down the sideline past midfield for a 24-yard pickup. What a big play for Robbie Ashford in this Auburn offense. That could have been the spark that they needed to get back in this game, as they're going to send their tight end in motion and then bring him back and run play action off of Jarquez Hunter. And on the move is Ashford, who throws a pretty good pass to Moore. I think if he'd have set his feet, he could have maybe got it deep, but that was a good play right there by Robbie Ashford. He is going to run some speed option, and once again, thankfully, he doesn't pitch it. I don't think he made the right decision there. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 for the Tigers that they convert easily. That's Omari Kelly making the 6-yard catch. And the Tigers are definitely on the move. They are in scoring position here as Ashford hands it to Jarquez Hunter, who has a crease up the middle, and that's another first down on an 11-yard pickup. That's going to set the Tigers up with 1st and goal, and they go to Alston on this play, and he breaks the tackle and goes into the end zone. That's a touchdown for Damari Alston. Auburn closes the gap in this game. They're going to make it 24-17 with just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter as the Gators take back over. They need to score to be able to quiet this crowd a little bit as Auburn's getting back into it, as Noah Keeter goes for 5 yards there. In the pistols, Garola, he's going to hand it to Montrell Johnson, who gets a first down. That's a great 9-yard pickup. That's his strength, and honestly, I think we might need to see a few more carries each game for him as he again goes for another 8 yards. He has been effective on the ground, and that's kind of the story here. Is I want to rotate backs, but if I can settle on a guy that's going to help us out and do the best for us, I think I'm just going to have to start playing that guy. Now, I will say that's a lesson learned a little bit too late as I'm further ahead in recordings and gameplay. I'm just going back, and as I'm editing these, I've been noticing lately that I need to kind of lean on one guy, because like Montrell Johnson does a good job, and then I pull him, bring in ETN, and our offense kind of stalls out. However, I'm many videos ahead of this already recorded, so you may not see a change for a while, but that's kind of just something that I've noticed that I need to work on. And as much as I want ETN to work out, because in real life the dude's a beast, in the game something about him, I just don't play well with him, so we'll have to see how that ends up affecting him and his future with our Gators. Auburn has the ball back here as Ashford goes to Riley Ducker. That's a 12-yard pickup and another first down. Auburn has definitely come back in this game here in the second half as Badette gets another carry. That only goes for 2. Their offense seems to be able to move the ball at will here. It looks a little bit more like what it did in the first quarter, as look at that throw. Ashford has Kelly wide open all the way down to the 15-yard line. That can't happen. Our secondary clearly blew some coverage on that play. I don't know what happened, but on the next play, we rebound by taking down Jarquez Hunter behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard loss. If we can hold him to 3 here, that'd be best case scenario, but Robbie Ashford breaks that first tackle. He does eventually go down by Shamar James, but that's a 10-yard rush, setting them up with a 3rd and 3, and they hand it to Jarquez Hunter, and he will not get that first down. He only picks up 1. However, Auburn has decided they're going to go for it, and they're going to send Jarquez Hunter in motion, and Ashford hands it to him, and he has a big gap over there to the right. He luckily doesn't get into the end zone. That's only a 4-yard pickup, but that's still 1st and goal as Alston checks in, and he is going to get this carry, and he will fight but not quite get into the end zone. That's going to bring him up to a 2nd and goal from about the 1-yard line. Alston remains in the game, and they go in a jumbo formation with some linemen out there, and that's Riley Ducker getting that catch for the touchdown. That's a big play from Micah Riley Ducker, and that'll give Auburn the opportunity to tie this game up at 24. Florida really has bumbled away their lead in the second half. They have not played well. However, Kimber takes that one out of the end zone, and he is up to the 30. the 40. He's going to get across midfield with a beautiful 53-yard return. That sets this Gators offense up in great field position, and hopefully they can capitalize on this one. As Jack Garola finds Harrison Wallace III for what turns into a big 18-yard reception. That's a great drive starter as Montrell Johnson gets a carry here, and he picks up 5. That's solid. He's doing exactly what we need, getting the tough yards. We throw a quick bubble screen out there, though, to Harrison Wallace III, and he's going to take that for 7 yards. That's another solid pickup. And then on 1st and 10 here, we go to Montrell Johnson. He breaks a couple tackles and falls ahead for a 10-yard pickup to set us up with 1st and goal as we open up the 4th quarter. We are tied at 24 all. This game has not gone the way I expected it to, if I'm being honest. And that right there is going to continue as Garola throws it to the end zone and Bridges picks it off. Auburn's going to get the ball back and get a stop to open up the 4th quarter. That's a huge mistake and something we can't do. But look at that play. Jarquez Hunter was definitely going to throw that one if you watch that back. He was pulling it up to throw when we took him down. That was a trick play. I wish I could have seen him pull it off. Not necessarily pick up yards, but at least see him throw it. Luckily for us, though, nothing on this drive really worked for Auburn, so they ended up having to punt it back to us because they had a 3rd and 18 that they couldn't convert. So they punted away, and we're going to get this ball past midfield when Kimberly catches that, and he's going to cut it to the outside, and he is actually not going to get many extra yards. I thought for sure he was going to at least get down to the 30-yard line, but we'll take it. Starting with the ball at 35 is good considering we threw a pick in the red zone last time, and the pick happened in the end zone, so that was a big mistake. Montrell Johnson getting his 2nd carry, and he already has another 1st down in this game. He has been awesome. He has really surprised me, and looking back at it, if I would have edited this sooner, I think this season might have played out a little bit different than it did because he did really well for us as Garola gets a big 1st down on an 11-yard scramble, and wisely he gets out of bounds without taking a hit. Now I will say, I'm not saying win or loss totals would have really changed, but I think stats wise and consistency of our offense might have been a little bit better had I given Montrell Johnson some more carries as Garola is going to pull it on this read option, and he ends up picking up 5. 3rd and 3 is not a bad situation to be in. We'll take it. From the pistol formation, though, we hand it to Montrell Johnson, and he gets stuffed. That's 4th and 2, and we decide to go for this instead of taking points as we send David Hester in motion. This could be a big mistake for the Gators, but Montrell Johnson will convert it just barely, and that's going to set up a 1st and goal for Jack Garola, who gets into the end zone on the read option. Touchdown, Gators. We retake the lead. We are now up 31-24 in this one. The Tigers do have plenty of time to respond with just about 4 minutes left in this one, but let's hope our defense can step up and stop them. Jarquez Hunter, though, is doing well in this game. He's been pretty good. Luckily, this time he gets himself a little too stretched out to the outside. However, it's a 3rd and 1 after back-to-back good carries by him. Ashford, however, will take a sack there. That's a big play by Mitchell, so we get the ball back on offense, and now we have a chance to close this game out. Let's see what we can do on 1st down. We go to Montrell Johnson, and he has nowhere to go. That's only a 1-yard carry, and we do drain the clock wisely and then give it to Montrell Johnson. He only picks up 2, so it's now 3rd and 8, and we are forced to pass it with 1:55 left in this game. Garola's moving to the left, and he finds Malik Mega to get the completion and force Auburn to use a timeout, but that's not enough for the 1st down, so Robbie Ashford and this Auburn offense have a chance to answer, and he does a great job opening up this drive by finding Duffy for 16 yards. They need a touchdown in order to send this game to overtime, so he has to keep pushing the ball down the field as he tries to tuck and run, and that ends up being a sack. That play didn't work well at all, and then of course they got to spike it to stop the clock, so it's now 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. That was a costly mistake, and they throw a screen out there to Jarquez Hunter, and we read it perfectly. That's Shamar James coming down and making that tackle. This is 4th and 13 and the game for the Tigers. Robbie Ashford, though, loads up and throws it deep. They call that incomplete. Let's look at the replay. I think they got that call right. Let's see what the booth says. They decide they're going to review it, and at this replay, it's clear as day. Look at that. His foot is down, out of bounds. Incompletion. Gators are going to win this game. But would you look at this crap? They reverse it and give Auburn the 1st down. You can't tell me that that's fair, and there's no way that was a completion. That is a BS call by the refs. And if I'm the AD of this school, I'm lodging a complaint with the SEC about this officiating staff. But we do take Robbie Ashford down for a sack. That is a big play. That's going to set up a 2nd and 18, and of course they spike it. So they have 31 seconds left in this game to get into the end zone. Ashford finds Ross across the middle middle. That's going to set up a 4th and 7, and Auburn surprisingly doesn't use a timeout there. But Robbie Ashford standing in the pocket, he's not feeling any pressure, and he just checks it down to Jarquez Hunter, who will get that first down and get out of bounds with 9 seconds left in this game. This Florida defense only has to stop him probably twice to keep him out of the end zone. As Ashford tucks and runs, he will break the tackle and get into the end zone. This game's going to get tied up at 31 with 4 seconds left. This game was rigged, man. I got a big issue with the SEC officiating crew that handled this game. There's no way that was a completion. It's 31-31. I know one play doesn't decide the game, and the interception in the end zone and the mistakes today by the Gators offense really haven't been good, but man, that play is frustrating. But Jalen Kimber's having a big return for us. He is down to the 40, and they do unfortunately catch us. So now we have to go to overtime to decide this game. I am so frustrated by the ending of this one. We do have a chance to hopefully win the toss, and we do win the toss. So that means we're going to start on defense, and if we can stop Auburn and maybe hold them to 3, then we know we need to get 6. They're going to open up by tossing it out there to Jarquez Hunter, and he has a big gap to the left, and he's down all the way to the 12-yard line. I thought for a second there he was going to be gone, but luckily he wasn't. Ashford's going to pass it on next play. That's Riley Ducker coming down with it. That's a 7-yard pickup and gonna set him up with a 2nd and 3. They can get a first down at like the half-yard line as they go to Jarquez Hunter. He gets stopped. This is 3rd and 1 now. Auburn comes out in the heavy package and they hand it to Jarquez Hunter. He breaks a tackle, but down he goes. Derek Wingo makes the play. That sets the Tigers up with a 4th and 3. What will they do? Well, they settle for 3 and make this a 34-31 game as we head into the second part of overtime. We open it up by finding Emmanuel Henderson for a big play all the way down to the 10-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup, setting us up with a 1st and goal. And Garola goes to the end zone. Xavier Henderson comes through. That's a 10-yard touchdown. Gators are going to move to 6-1 on the season and come out of here with a victory. Jack Garola did play pretty well today. He did have that costly pick, but overall, he was pretty good, and he was your player of the game. I gotta say, though, Xavier Henderson bailed us out on that final throw. If you look at it, that was a risky one, and he just turned around and caught it immediately. That was a great play by him, and a great throw by Jack Garola, trusting that his receiver was going to know the back shoulder throw was coming. Now, let's take a look at some stats. As you can see on the ground, it was kind of hit or miss, but Montrell Johnson's just our best running back. I'm not going to say he's our best option in the nation, but he's our best option that we have. On defense, you know, we had a pretty solid day from some players. Justice Boone played well, so did Miguel Mitchell. Shamar James also made a couple big plays, so you're happy to see that. We didn't end up getting any interceptions in this game, which is a little bit shocking. I thought we were going to have a chance against Robbie Ashford, but he was efficient and smart with the ball. He completed 18 of his 22 passes. He didn't cross the 200-yard threshold, but that's kind of what you expect out of a guy like him. He's going to give you some added juice on the ground, so his passing stats are not always going to be great, but you can't expect him to be that efficient passing the ball very often. It's not his strong suit, and he kind of shocked me with that. And you know what? I guess that's why we weren't prepared. I was trying to blitz him a lot, hoping to get him scrambling and moving around, and that backfired. They ended up giving us a fight. This was an excellent game. It was a very controversial ending, though. I'm still mad about that call. As we start taking a look at our Heisman standings, Will Rogers leads the way. He is the quarterback from Mississippi State, followed up by Lou Nichols, the third of Central Michigan. Hunter Deckers drops to 3. Like I said, his career is probably over. Tyler Buckner is up to number 4, and Connor Wegman comes in, still remaining at number 5. Now we're going to take a look at some top 25 polls. As you can see, Penn State still leads the way. They are 6-0 and undefeated. They've been phenomenal, man. I'm really happy to see them succeed. Hopefully we can meet them up in the playoffs. I'd love to beat them and win a national title against them. I was hoping to bring one to them, but I couldn't do that. As you can see, also A&M drops from 4 to 10 with their loss to Mississippi State. Now I can see why Will Rogers moved up. He played well, and he knocked off a top team. That's a big upset for Mississippi State, and that's something maybe they can build upon with their 7-1 record. And you can see also, looking at additional details here, we come in at number 29 in the nation. We are almost back to getting ranked. If we can somehow pull off an upset against Georgia, we might just be able to get ourselves ranked again. But that's definitely not going to be an easy feat, as they are 5-1 and number 8 in the nation. They are a better team than us. They score more points a game than us. Their defense is way better than ours. The only thing that we really have is the fact that our turnover differential is better. And then there's one other small detail that's going to actually help us out quite a bit too. Georgia's missing their starting quarterback, Elijah Benson. He got hurt and he's going to miss a while, so that's really going to affect Georgia's season. And replacing him is going to be a freshman quarterback with very little experience and a lower overall, so that might give us a fighting chance to be able to knock off. We have a bye week to go through. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this video is taking a little bit longer to get out. Like I said, I've been sick and then I had a family member in the hospital. I'm sorry about the delay, but please like and subscribe. Have a great day. I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it.